Hi everybody, it's Mushy. Today our lesson is a quick review on the area model for division. Let's go ahead and get started. The problem that we're going to be practicing with for our first example is 235 divided by 5. Now, as soon as I see this problem, I have made a couple of observations. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and I'd like you to turn and talk with a partner about what you see that is interesting with both the numbers 235 as well as the number 5. Okay, an observation that you should have made was that the number 235 has a 5 in the ones place, which means that it is divisible by 5. Okay? Automatically, you should have seen and talked about with your partner that you are not going to have a remainder at the end of this problem. Let's go ahead and see if our observations are correct. Here we go. The first step in the area measurement model is you have to draw a box. My favorite part. So we're going to draw a box, and we're going to place the number that we are dividing into the box. Haha. And we are going to put the number that we're dividing by outside of the box. Okay. Now, please remember the division algorithm of divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. These steps do sort of apply to this model, and you will see that as we go through this example. Here we go. The first step that you are going to do is you're going to divide 5 into the first number, which is the 2 in the hundreds place. And you will have seen that 5 cannot go into 2. It's too small. So you're going to put a 0 on top of the 2. The next step that you're going to do is you are going to circle the 2 and the 3, and you're going to ask yourself, how many times does 5 go into 23 without going over? Now, in order to divide, you have got to know your facts, both multiplication facts as well as division facts. If you're not so great with your division facts, you can use the rule of multiples by counting up by 5 until you get to 23, but do not go over. Okay. 5 goes into 23 4 times without going over. So I'm going to put a 4 on top of that 3. Now, remember in this model that every single number inside the box has to have a buddy on top of it. So you will see that the 2 has a buddy that's a 0. The 3 has a buddy that is a 4. The 5 needs to have a buddy, so we're going to put a 0, and we're going to call that a 0 buddy. So every single number has a number on the opposite side of the box. The 2 has the 0, the 3 has the 4, the 5 has the 0. Second step in the division algorithm is you multiply. In this case, you're going to multiply 40 times 5, which would equal 200. Third step, so we've divided 5 into 23. We have multiplied 40 times 5. Now we're going to subtract. Starting with the ones place, you're going to get 5, 3, and 0. All right. This number at the bottom is not less than 5. So your next step is you're going to draw another box. Now, your boxes don't have to be perfect, but it does need to be legible. All right. This 35 is now going to go in the new box, and we're going to repeat the process. First step in the division algorithm is you divide 5 into 35. 5 cannot go into 3, so you put a 0 on top of the house, and you circle the 3 and the 5. Repeat. Try again. 5 can go into 35 evenly 7 times. Multiply. 7 times 5 is 35. Subtract. Bring down any remainders. Oh my goodness, look what we have here. This is very exciting because if you remember our observation at the beginning of this lesson, we said that if a number is divisible by 5, you're not going to get any remainders. And guess what? We did not get any remainders in this problem. Now, we're not quite done yet. We're almost done. The last step in this model is you have to add together your numbers at the top. So in this case, we're going to add together 40 plus 7, which is going to give us 47. There we have it, our first problem. 235 divided by 5 equals 47. Let's go ahead and try another problem. Alright, let's go ahead and try another example. This example reads 3042 divided by 2. We're going to go ahead and solve this problem using the area model. And you know in the area model, the first step that you need to do is you need to draw a box. My favorite part. Now if you're a little confused about which number goes inside of the box and which number goes on the outside of the box, a trick that will help you remember is that the number that you're dividing into, which is this one, goes into the box. So that's kind of a helpful hint for those of you out there who are not quite sure about which number goes inside the box and which number goes on the outside of the box. So 3042, because we're dividing into that number, goes on the inside of the box, and 2 will go on the outside of the box, like so. Alright, if it's helpful to you, go ahead somewhere on your paper, write the division algorithm, divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and this can help you kind of keep your steps organized, your process organized while you're solving this problem. Alright, here we go. The first step of the division algorithm states that we are going to divide 2 into 3. 2 can go into 3, but only one time. So we're going to put a 1 on top of the 3. Now remember, in this model, every single number that is on the inside of the box has to have a buddy on the outside of the box. And the buddy number that you are going to put, remember we call these the 0 buddies. So we're going to put 1 0 here, 1 0 here, and 1 0 here. So now each number that's inside of the box has a buddy on the outside of the box. The 3's buddy is a 1, the 0 buddy is a 0, the 4's buddy is a 0, and the 2's buddy is a 0. Okay, so we've gone ahead and we have divided. Now we're going to multiply. 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. We're going to put that underneath 3042. We're going to subtract that, starting at the ones place and moving our way to the thousands. And we're going to bring down any remainders, which we've just done. Now, this number, 1042, is not smaller than 2, so we have to draw another box. And we're going to put 1042 on the inside, and we're going to repeat. 2 cannot go into 1, so we're going to put a 0 on top of the 1, circle the 10. 2 can go into 10 5 times. Now remember your 0 buddies. We've just divided. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to multiply 500 times 2, which is 1,000. We're going to subtract and bring down any remainders, and we have 42. Again, 42 is not smaller than 2, so we're going to draw another box and put 42 on the inside. Repeat. 2 can go into 4 2 times. Now remember that every single number that's on the inside of the box has to have a buddy on the outside of the box. The 4's buddy is the 2, so the 2 has to have a 0 buddy. 20 times 2 is 40. going to subtract and bring down any remainders. 2 is not smaller than 2, so we are going to draw another box and put any remainders inside of that box. 2 can go into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract, bring down any remainders, which there are none. At this point, if your remainders are less than the number you're dividing by, or there's 0, you don't have any remainders, that means you are done with your algorithm piece. You're not quite done with the problem yet. Remember, the last step of the area model is you have to add all of the numbers that are on the top of the boxes. So we're going to add together 1,000, 500, plus 20, plus 1. After we add this all together, you would have 1,521. This means that 3,042 divided by 2 equals 1,521. Let's try one last problem. 3,254 divided by 7. First step, draw your box. Put the number you're dividing into inside of the box. Put the number you're dividing by outside of the box. Start. 3 cannot be divided by 7. It's too small. So you're going to put a 0 on top of the box, and you're going to circle the 3 and the 2. 7 can go into 32 4 times without going over. Remember that every single number inside of the box has to have a buddy on the outside. Multiply. Subtract. And bring down any remainders. Now in this case you are going to have to borrow, so you're going to have to recall those great subtraction facts. Alright, your remainders here in this first part of the problem is 454. 454 is not smaller than 7, so you have to draw another box. And repeat. 7 cannot go into 4. 4 is just too small. So you're going to circle the 4 and the 5. 7 can go into 45 6 times without going over. Don't forget your 0, buddy. 60 times 7 is 420. Subtract. Bring down any remainders. 34. 34 is not smaller than 7, so you're going to have to draw another box and put 34 inside of the box. And repeat. 7 cannot go into 3. It's just too small. But 7 can go into 34. Let's see. 7, 14, 21, 28, 35. Oh, 35 is too much. So I know it can only go in 4 times, and I used my multiples rule. 4 times 7 is 28. We're going to subtract. And our remainder is 6. 6 is less than 7. I can't draw a box. This is my remainder. So I'm going to put it up here at the top, just so that I can keep that fresh on my mind. Last step that you have to do with this model is you must add together the numbers on top of the box. So you're going to add 400 plus 60 plus 4, and that will equal 464 with a remainder of 6. You have just seen a wonderful video illustrating the area model for division. Last parting words that I want to give you is good luck. I know that you can do it when you practice it and show perseverance. Remember, You will be successful with this model if you remember the steps of the division algorithm: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and coupled with that, knowing your facts. Have a wonderful day and have fun dividing.